Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, July 10th, and I am sitting here on the floor of my studio, having just spent the last 20 minutes looking for my memory cards, my SD cards, and I finally found them. I had just cleaned up my studio end of last week, and I did not remember where I put them. I didn't put them in my usual spot, but thankfully I found them, and I'm vlogging today, hoping to vlog throughout the week because it has been quite a while. The reason I have been MIA, and you'll know this if you follow me on Twitter, and definitely, definitely on Twitter, and I think probably I mentioned it on Instagram too, but I have, it was just like the perfect storm the last, I don't know, like the last 3 weeks, the last almost month, where Penelope got really sick, and then I got really sick, and then like a day into that, like right at the beginning, Eric left the country for 2 weeks. So I was by myself with Penelope, still trying to, still with my same workload, actually with quite a lot of work. And it got bad enough that like there were a few days where I didn't feel comfortable like having the babysitter come because we were just so sick, and I didn't want to get anybody else sick. So yeah, that happened and I felt like it was just a cold, but like it was one of those ones that just like really kicked my butt. We're mostly better now. Penelope's all better. I'm mostly better. And then last week I had been hoping to vlog, but it was just like I was too crazy trying to like catch up and shuffle things around. And thankfully I didn't end up missing any deadlines. I was able to like push through and do what I needed to do. But there's one project which I've been working on for ArtStar, which I was hoping was going to be done like 2 weeks ago, and that one didn't have like a hard deadline. So that was the one that ended up getting pushed, and yeah, so anyway, the last few weeks sucked, but I wanted to vlog because it's been so long, and also because I feel like a bunch of stuff has happened since the last time, certainly since the last time I vlogged. I think I did put up one video like 2 weeks ago. It was the video on reference photos, which I had already pre-recorded and pre-edited and stuff. But anyway, lots of updates and a number of projects that I'm working on this week that I think you guys might be interested in. So here we are. So what should I do first? Show you things or tell you what's happening? Okay, so this week I am finishing those paintings for ArtStar, and I'll show you. I think they're mostly done, but I still have to scan them in and edit them and get them ready to go. And then I'm working on two editorial assignments, and those will have actually color finals due. Ooh, this got really bright. I have color finals due for both of those tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing the ArtStar, and what else? Oh, I'm also in the midst of trying to plan my next Skillshare class, and again, that was something I was hoping was going to be done like a while ago, but just because of getting walloped with that cold, it was not possible. So hoping to kind of get started on that. I've done the planning, but it would be great to actually start on some of the filming. The basic idea for this one is going to be like if you have taken the one that I have previously done, that I already did, the colored pencil painting, that class was more of like an overview of like all these different techniques that I use and going really in depth into technique. So I thought I would do one that still was technique driven, but like had it paired more like throughout the entire video, like with me actually creating a piece. So I think I'm going to do like a how to paint your favorite pastry, that sort of thing, maybe like a cinnamon roll or a Danish or something that's flaky, and film like the whole process of me making it and having like less talking head, I guess, just because I want to show a different type of teaching style. Anyway, let me know what you think about that, or if you think there's a better subject than pastry. And I'm hoping to do more and more of these in the future, so I don't trying not to have like the pressure to have it be like the perfect everything class. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So those two projects, then Skillshare, and yeah, I think there's still more updates and more stuff to show you guys, but I'm just going to do it throughout the week so you don't get like hit with it all at once. So right now I am going to get started on my editorial assignments. The sketches were already approved, so I'm ready to just move right on to the color. And I haven't decided exactly which media. I mean, I'll be using colored pencils for sure at some point, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do watercolor pencils or just straight up watercolor for the base. So, oh, actually, maybe before I get started, I will show you this. I just got a big paper order from Blick yesterday, and I got some. Well, I got my favorite Reeves. I got several sheets of that, as I usually do. And then I got some more Fabriano Artistico. And this one is their like super heavyweight 300-pound. It feels amazing. It's like, it feels like a piece of cardboard almost, like that's how thick it is. So I'm really excited to mess around with these. I've been wanting to do kind of like more wet on wet and more like really wet media at the beginning of a piece. Planning on those more for like personal pieces or for paintings rather than for commercial illustration assignments, because I need to keep that look pretty consistent. So I'll just keep using the Reeves. But yeah, I'm excited to mess around with those. And then I got like a really big sheet of it as well. I think this is a new thing, having them offered in these packs. It's not a block or like a, what do you call that, a book? It's just the loose sheets, but they're together, and this is a 4-pack. These are 11 by 14. Yeah, so I just wanted to try these because I do break, if you know this if you watch my channel, but most of the big sheets I do break them down anyway into like 11 by 14 or even smaller. So I figured with the Artistico anyway that it would be nice just to be able to buy them already in the size that they're in so that I don't have to have that extra step of breaking them down. All right, so on to the editorial assignments.
Work, writing, family.
So it's about 11:30. I have been working for a few hours now. I can't show you guys what I'm working on because it's not published yet, but it will eventually be up on social media. And before I get lunch, I wanted to show you, am I in focus or not? I wanted to show you some paper that I've been testing. I mentioned this in a vlog a little while ago, but Arteza, I can't tell if I'm in focus. I hope I'm in focus. Arteza sent me some art supplies to test out, and I've tried the colored pencils, which I wasn't a huge fan of, the brush pens, which I did really like, and then I had just messed around a little bit on the paper, but hadn't actually tried to make anything with it. So I did quite a bit more testing with their paper over the weekend, and I wanted to show you. This is like really messy, and I was just totally messing around, not trying to make anything super super finished. But this page has like a bunch of mixed media, kind of heavier applications. I didn't even get to layering on colored pencils yet, but I did a combination of watercolor pencils, and what are those things called? Water soluble wax pastels. Yeah, I did some layering with those. I did wet on, not true wet on wet, but like I kept working while it was still wet. I kept working in other layers of, I also have gouache on here, other layers of media, which a sturdy paper usually would stand up to that, but this definitely, I forget what's the weight. I think it's 140 pound, 300 GSM, which is heavyweight, but it's not a very sturdy paper. I'll say that. Not for this kind of work. It started to pill and flake pretty quickly with any sort of like blending. So I'm not even talking about like laying watercolor pencils onto wet paper, because that that will damage most papers, but just like continuing to layer on more watercolor while it was still wet and more gouache on top of that, the paper just started to pill and fall apart. So not a great use if that is your style. If you tend to do wet work or lots of layer mixed media. And at this point, I can already feel that it wouldn't take colored pencil very well. So yeah, not a great paper for mixed media. But I also tried just a more traditional, is that in focus? Tried a more traditional watercolor with like less manipulation. So I was just like carefully putting the brush on the paper, but I wasn't moving it around to blend a lot the way I do with gouache. And this seemed to hold up really well. There's not much warping. It handled the pigment okay. So yeah, I would say if you are more of a traditional watercolorist and you just do watercolor and you're pretty good about letting things mostly dry or not like using your brush for manual blending while things are still wet, then you could definitely save some money and use this paper. Also, just in case you're wondering, it's definitely a single-sided paper. There's texture on the front and it's totally smooth on the back. I don't think it's not mold made. It's yeah, it's definitely more of a value paper. But yeah, if you have more of a dry, delicate technique, then you could save some money and use this paper. So I'll probably keep it around just for testing colors and stuff. But I'm not gonna use this because it just doesn't work with my style. I tend to have the mixed media layers, heavier applications and blending and all that. All right, so I'm going to take a break and go get some lunch.